Oh, hello there. How long have you been there? Hello, YouTube pipe community. Welcome to another Sunday ramble. Anarcho pipe smoker here. Seated out of my area alongside my apartment house. Beautifully wooded area, as you can see from the back. Sun breaking through the trees, which puts me partly in shadow, as you can see. Hope everybody's doing fine. Also want to say happy autumn, happy October. And with October means the coming of a cluster of holidays, beginning with Halloween, which is what I want to say something about. First thing, I'm going to cover a couple things if I remember all of them. Housekeeping is related to my theme. If I can light in the wind here. I am smoking you can see this. Whoop. Sorry about that. A skull pipe, carved briar skull pipe. I hope you can see the detail. By the way, this was recommended to me by Eric, the blue collar pipe smoker, and I found it from RNA Treasures, whom I contacted on Instagram, and I got it real quickly. Beautifully carved briar pipe, very nicely made. So this is my Halloween pipe. Doesn't mean I'll only smoke it around Halloween. And I'm smoking in it. Another recommendation from Eric. I don't have a package with me. It is Sutliff's pumpkin spice, which seems perfect for Halloween. I like the tobacco very much. And it's not just a novelty tobacco. I'm going to do a little adjustment here. Bear with me. You may think it's a novelty tobacco for the holidays. I can see smoking this all year round. Delicious. You do not lose the tobacco flavor. But there's a very pleasant pumpkin and spice topping, let's say. Delicious. Related to that, also another shout out to Eric, is Sutliff's black spice, which he recommended, and which I am enjoying. It's different. It's got the spice, but I don't believe it has the pumpkin, and it's quite nice. Now, my other favorite tobacco for the fall, when the fall weather's coming, and here in Little Rock we're getting fall weather now. It's actually, mornings are a little chilly. Apologize for all the shadow. We're getting, beautiful mornings. I love going out when it's dark. Temperature may be 40, even lower. And as long as there's no wind, it's fantastic. And it's dark. The dog walkers aren't out yet. Even the joggers aren't out yet. And I can enjoy my first pipe of the day. So my other favorite tobacco for this weather is everything else I own. In other words, every tobacco, in my experience, is better this time of year, especially when fall is first coming along, and we've finally had the break in the dog days, and they seem to be gone. Although down here they could come back. But everything tastes great. And you know what tastes particularly good? The codger blends, the old school blends, the drugstore blends, the OTC blends. Every one of them are just delightful, and especially in cold weather. I've been smoking of a bunch of them recently. Velvet, mixture number 79 from Sutliff. Match for the old Sugar Barrel, which doesn't exist anymore, but you can get a match for it, I believe, Sutliff. Oh, some others, half and half. And one of my favorites, this is going to sound like a commercial, believe me, I get no financial benefit if you buy this. But one of my all-time, maybe my favorite these days. Just a fantastic tobacco. Prince Albert, I call it Birdie. Prince Albert, who became King Edward the 7th, when his mother died, Queen Victoria. The name he was, his actual first name was Albert, and his parents called him Birdie. His father was also Prince Albert. It is a fantastic smoke, and like these Codger blends, and I've been saying this the last couple of weeks maybe, this is a consistent smoke every time. It's true of the other blends I named, which means it's gonna, if you like the flavor, you're gonna love it every time. It tastes the same pretty much every time, no matter what you've eaten, how long ago you've eaten, how rested you are or unrested you are. I never get a nicotine hit, and I never get my palate overwhelmed. Now it's a flavorful tobacco, so are the others. These are a lot of flavor, a lot of good burly. Somebody's having trouble with the car alarm. I hope you can hear me. Lots of flavor, no nicotine hit, but not so much flavor, not so overpowering a flavor that your palate is wrecked for hours, which often happens to me with boutique blends. I either get kicked in the you-know-what with nicotine, or I swear I'm not going to smoke until the following day because my palate is just completely overwhelmed and wrecked. So if you're looking for something comforting but very flavorful, I would look for a pouch of Prince Albert. You can find it often. You can find it at Walmart, very inexpensive. Find it online. I even picked up, this was not filled unfortunately, at an antique mall last year. I found an old can of Prince Albert, the old Prince Albert in the can, which inspired so many phony phone calls from my generation and probably earlier, where you'd call up the drugstore and say, "Do you have Prince Albert in a can?" And the druggist would say yes, and then you'd say, "Well, you better let him out." And by the way, this is an old one. I don't know the date. I don't see a date on it. Some expert out there might be able to tell me, but I know that it's earlier than the 70s. You know how I know? Look at the other side. There is no barcode. Barcodes come in the 70s. So this is pre-70s. And at the same time that I found this at the mall, I found a velvet can. Looks a lot like this, but velvet. And on the back is a barcode. So even though it looked kind of just as old, kind of rusted on the top, that's a newer can. Unless Prince Albert wasn't putting on barcodes, I don't know why that would be the case. Maybe I think they probably stopped making the cans before the barcodes came in. Anyway, wonderful tobacco. This is going to be a short one. I wanted to bring this fall insight, this Halloween insight to your attention, in case you want to give it a try. It's a delightful way to for a change of pace, let's say, from your normal tobacco, if you want to observance of a holiday. Let's just say one more thing. I got a good tip again from Eric, and also my other YTPC buddy, the Artful Codger, Ben, about another Sutliff tobacco. I've been naming Sutliff a lot here. They have a red Virginia called 515RC, which is just a red Virginia. It's not a blend as far as I know, just maybe an aged red Virginia. You can find it in bulk. Fantastic stuff. If you're a fan of McClelland's, the late McClelland's 5100 red cake, and you miss it, I smoked the last of mine quite a while ago. I think you want to give that 515 a shot. But here's a tip about it. It's delicious on its own, but I've used it for some mixing. I've mixed it with a Burley that was also a late McClelland burley that I find extremely bland. It was burley, pressed burley from McClellan X30, I think it was called. I still had quite a bit on hand. It was a bulk tobacco, but it was extremely bland. It was born, and I guess it was put out as a blending tobacco, but it wasn't the least bit interesting by itself. So I think Eric and Ben both said, well, try mixing it with this 515. So I immediately grabbed some 515, and it's fantastic together. And now, today I made my own discovery. I sometimes have a rough go with Darkfire Kentucky. It can be very, very strong. If you've ever had Bold Kentucky from Mac Baren, handle with care, at least if your body chemistry is anything like mine. It can put me away. I need to go down and just go sleep. Nicotine and just again overpowering flavor. And I've had trouble with some others. I get the same thing with Peterson's Irish Flake, and I haven't checked the ingredients. Actually, I don't know if that's Darkfire Kentucky, but to me it tastes just like the Bold Kentucky. So I put some RC, some of that 515 from Sutliff. I mixed this morning with another what I find very strong Kentucky dark fired, namely Amphora's Kentucky blend, which is very tasty, but again, for me at least, very overpowering. I did half and half with the RC, and that is delicious. I'll be smoking more of that. Really, really good. So, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy your week. Enjoy October. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy whatever blend and whatever pipes you're smoking. I'll sign off now. To each his own. Live and let live. And remember, replace your divots. See y'all.